Late last week, we were informed of a plot for Election Day violence. Remember that? The Afghan national, the Biden-Harris administration led into the U.S. with their program to bring Afghans here. So impeached DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas continues to avoid the discussion of that plot.
This is a big deal.
Can you quickly explain what the status is with this arrest this past week, or this prosecution we learned of this past week, of this Afghan national who was apparently planning an election day terrorist attack on behalf of ISIS? He was in this country. He had immigration status.
Pause it for a sec. Right now he's thinking, I came on Face the Nation because I didn't want to face these kinds of questions from the nation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now here you are asking me this, and I don't want to talk about it.
Because he berated a reporter when he was at the hurricane stuff.
I'm not going to talk about this here. It's not the time nor the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this seems like a good place for it.
This does seem like the time and place, right? Let's hear the rest.
Was he radicalized before he came to the United States?
So, Margaret, it is an ongoing prosecution, so I won't speak of the facts, but the viewing public is getting an idea of the breadth and diversity of the missions that we in the Department of Homeland Security
tackle. But it gets to the issue of vetting versus whether he was radicalized here.
Remember, the individual came in through parole, an Afghan national, and when we vet, and we do so intensively, when we vet an individual, it's a point-in-time screening and vetting process.
Incredible.
Is it?
It's really incredible.
So if it's such a great screening and vetting process.
Yeah, how'd he get in? How? Incredible. Another area the impeached Alejandro Mayorkas oversees, of course, FEMA. And here was a recent conference call as they discussed emergency response priorities.
Sparked a few things in my mind, thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why of why we're having these discussions, is because it isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community. Thank you so much. Maggie.
Thank you. Yeah, there are a couple of things that are intersecting in my mind here. One of them is the culture of emergency management as an organization, as an industry in the United States specifically, not abroad. This has, and my cat sometimes does this. She gets really loud suddenly, so you'll have to just allow for the little meowing in the background. The shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good for the greatest amount of people.
Read it. We don't want that,
disaster equity.
Read it
but we have to do more. Right. And so this topic is intersecting, I think, with a number of other topics where we have to look at policies.
She really likes mixing that
and understand to what extent they have disadvantaged communities that had less assets, communities that had pre-existing vulnerabilities in accessing disaster-related recovery supports.
Meow. You hear the cat back there. That's your government. I mean, that is your idiocracy government right there. And I love the pronouns underneath their names. That's also helpful.
Yeah, very.
But if you're now you're not watching that if you're a victim, particularly in
you don't have any power.
Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, North Georgia, since you have no electricity or internet. But how pissed would you be?
Oh, jeez.
Wait a minute. So we can't get aid because we don't have a rainbow flag in front of our house? I just enraging.
It is. It absolutely is.
Grotesque. I know last week we had a FEMA training video. We didn't play for it. We have, if you want to see this, how FEMA trains people.
Oh no. All right. How long is it?
About
Can we play
seconds?
It here? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Oh, no.
When working to build an inclusive exercise program, it can be helpful to use the following approach. Thoughtfully consider inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility throughout all aspects of a program or project. Create an inclusive culture by recognizing, understanding, and working to address individual biases. Listen to and learn about individuals different from oneself, and use a holistic mindset to identify all segments of the community that could be affected and engage them as appropriate.
All right, there we go. Now, when your house is floating down the street on a wave of storm surge, you're going to be really happy that FEMA is all about inclusivity, equity, and diversity. You're going to be happy that they've hired people from all walks of life. Handy-capable,
please.
Black,
yes.
Brown,
Green.
red, green, purple, fuchsia, whatever. You're going to be happy there's no whiteys coming to your rescue.
Thank you.
Thank goodness.
Someone
it's all people of diversity. It's all people of color. It's the IPOCs. Is it the IPOCs? BIPOC. That's what it is.
How dare you?
I know. That was terrible.
That was so
it's
racist.
The BIPOCs. Yes. The BIPOCs are coming. The BIPOCs are coming. And they're going to save you. So that'll be great.